In all my years in vehicle export, there's one question I dread hearing most. Hey, what's the real difference between FOB and CIF? My client is pushing for DDP FE, should I say yes? Every time peers, newbies, even sales staff with a year of experience ask this, my stomach drops. Odds are, they've already lost money on a bad trade term FE, or they're about to walk straight into a trap. Believe it or not, over 80% of losses, disputes, and unpaid invoices in this industry trace back to misunderstanding trade terms. You think you're quoting a price. You're quoting risk, responsibility, and whether your profit will ever actually hit your bank account. I've seen it all. People go with EXW thinking zero work for me. FE then, the car sits in the factory for 3 months, the buyer goes bankrupt, and you're stuck with storage fees and unsold stock. Others take CF assuming, I paid for insurance. I'm covered FE only to find out the policy protects the buyer, not you. And some chase DDP profits, promise door-to-door delivery, then get crushed by sudden tariff hikes or customs delays that rack up fees higher than the car itself. These aren't stories. They're real mistakes I've watched peers make. Today we break down XW FOB, CF, and DDP FE. No textbook jargon, just real car export scenarios. The core rule: every trade term answers one question. If the car gets damaged, lost, or seized in transit FE, who pays? The term draws a line. Before that line, seller's problem. After that line, buyer's problem. Simple on paper, brutal in practice. WON XWX works. FE easiest on paper, riskiest in reality. XW means you prepare the car at your factory or warehouse. Notify the buyer, and you're done. Loading, trucking, export customs, shipping, insurance, destination clearance, FE. All on them. Newbies love it because the quote looks low. But here's the catch. I knew a trader who signed an XW deal for $500,000 worth of goods. The buyer never arranged pickup. The cargo sat in his warehouse for 3 months. Then the buyer went bankrupt. Legally, Risk had already transferred FE, but the goods were still on his property. He couldn't resell them. He couldn't collect storage fees. He took the full loss. There's another hidden risk. The buyer handles export customs. If their forwarder messes up paperwork, your company gets flagged by Chinese customs. And your export tax refund eligibility. You did nothing wrong, but you take the blame. Bottom line. Only use EXW with trusted, experienced buyers who have their own solid logistics. Skip it entirely if you're new to FOB. Free onboards FE, the lifeline of car export with FOB. You deliver the car to the named port, handle export customs, and load it onto the buyer's ship. The moment it's on board, risk shifts to the buyer. Ocean freight, insurance, destination fees, FE, all their responsibility. This is why industry veterans call FOB a non-negotiable red line. Here's why. You only front domestic costs. Prep, inspection, trucking, port fees. No, you hold the bill of lading. No final payment, no release of goods. You control the title, used cars especially, scratches in transit, buyer complaints, rejection attempts, FE. None of it is your problem once the ship sails. The trap buyer, nominated forwarders. I've seen scammers run the scheme. Small test orders first to build trust, then a big order where their forwarder releases the cargo without the original BFAL. You lose the car and the money. Fix it. Use your own trusted forwarder for new clients, and never release documents until payment clears in your account. 3. CIF cost insurance and freight FE. You pay for it, but you don't own the risk. CIF is FOB plus you pay the ocean freight and buy marine insurance. Here's the mistake almost everyone makes. Risk transfers at exactly the same point as FOB FE on board the ship. You paid for the insurance, but the policy is for the buyer. If the ship hits a storm and the car is wrecked, they file the claim, not you. I saw a Shanghai company send trucks to Ethiopia on CIF terms. A hurricane damaged 16 units in transit. Legally, it was the buyer's loss, but the buyer harassed them for months, blamed their shipping choice, threatened to blacklist them. Even if you're right legally, you burn time, money, and reputation. Use it when you want to offer a simpler quote to win the order, but always build a buffer into your freight price. FE rates can swing 30% in a quarter. 4. DDP delivered duty paid FE high reward. Highest danger DDP means you deliver the car straight to the buyer's door, covering every single cost: transport, insurance, export fees, import duties, Virginia T customs clearance, FE everything. The buyer just signs for it. Sounds premium, high margin. It's the most dangerous term in vehicle export. Tariffs change overnight. Quote, 10% duty. It jumps to 25% on arrival FE. You cover the gap. 1. Paperwork error fei wrong, HS code wrong VIN fei, and the car sits in port racking up daily storage fees. You front all the money up front. Your cash flow takes the biggest hit. I know an exporter who took a 1,000-car DDP order to Mexico. Customs issues held the whole shipment. Storage was $100 per car per Dalton Y. After 1 month, he walked away from the entire cargo. He never recovered. Rule of thumb. DDP is off limits unless you have your own local team at destination that fully controls customs. If you absolutely must take it, get 100% upfront payment, quote for worst case costs, and have a rock-solid local partner. Miss any of these, walk away. So which one should you pick? New to the business? Stick to FOB. Draw your risk line at the ship's rail. Control what you can control. Client asks for. You can offer it fei, but pad the freight quote for price swings and confirm insurance coverage in writing. Client demands DDP, just say no. If the order is too big to lose, lock in full prepayment. First one final detail, write the full term in your contract. Not just FOB fei, FOB Shanghai Port, China. Name the exact port, lay out payment milestones clearly. The more specific you are, the less room there is for disputes. At the end of the day, this business doesn't reward the boldest. It rewards the ones who know the rules inside out. Trade terms aren't just letters on a page fei. They're your risk boundary. Choose right and your profit depends on your skill. Choose wrong and your loss depends on luck. That's all for today. We specialize in whole vehicle export, breaking down real trade rules and helping you steer clear of every pitfall. Wishing all my fellow exporters endless orders. Catch you next time.